Hi everyone, I'm John Nerrell. I help professionals who are ambitious about their careers create their next advancement opportunity. I've been thinking for a while about how could I get a message out there about authenticity and playing full out as yourself in the workplace. It seemed that this week, the week of Halloween, could not be more appropriate to do so. If you got my email on Monday because you subscribed to my email community, you would have seen a message from me that talked about living behind the mask. One of the things I shared in the email is that I'm really not a big fan of Halloween. Even as a kid, I didn't really care for it so much. But as an adult, I simply just don't get into it. I don't like the scary part of Halloween, but I also don't like the whole thought about masks. Yes, masks are there to hide certain things. And in my life, I've proverbially worn them on many occasions. That this was really an opportunity for me to talk with you about what's behind the mask. That while the mask is there to protect us, it also keeps us from living as our true, authentic selves. When I was first starting my career out of college, it was a little bit of a different time in the early 90s. And being out as a gay man in the places where I worked was not an advantageous move. Certainly, as time progressed and some laws changed, and I got to know more about my colleagues and my leaders, I certainly felt a little more comfortable sharing things about myself with them. But it's the subtle things where the mask is on. Like I can remember when I was first working in a place and people would say to me, "What did you do over the weekend?" And while they may genuinely have been coming from a good place to just simply make conversation or learn a little more about me, I felt it was really important to have that mask on and be a little bit guarded. I would keep things pretty general. I went out with friends, I saw a movie, I went out to dinner. Nothing that was ever too specific that might let people in a little bit as to who I am and whether or not they wanted to do something about that. Yes, I lived in fear of losing my job with several places where I worked because I'm gay. And that was just part of my reality. And I realized that the mask was on to protect me. In 2010, I had a major life event, and a really good one at that. I took a very bold move, both personally and professionally, and took a job in Washington, D.C., and moved in with my partner, whom I had been dating for 2 years. When I started that job and people asked me, "Why did you move?" I had two very specific reasons to tell them. The first thing I told them was that I felt as if I was getting professionally stale and it was time for me to change things up. I wanted an opportunity to lead, and I wanted an opportunity to work with adult learners and directly impact teacher performance that also had a direct result on student achievement. And secondly, that I was pulled professionally. That my partner was living in DC, we had been dating long distance for 2 years, and it was time to take the relationship to the next level and see where it would go. I got to be my true self at that point with strangers, with people whom I was just starting to work with. But I wanted to play full out. This wasn't about me hiding anything in my life at that point. Again, if you subscribe to my email, you would have seen that I referenced an article by Ash Reed, who talked about what it means to really be yourself in the workplace. I want to read this quote from the article because for me, I think this was really powerful. I quote, "I realized that it's not so much about focusing on bringing your whole self to work, but more about simply being yourself and not leaving anything at the office door when you start up for the day." What this quote means to me is that we just get to show up as ourselves. We get to bring what's unique about us, what's special about us, and we get to bring that into the workplace. If we truly live and work in a diverse and inclusive organization that provides a safe space for us to be who we are, then we get to simply just be ourselves. It's not about putting everything out there for everyone to know, every single intimate detail about our lives. It's not what I'm talking about here. But it is about being yourself. And this is where I strongly agree with Ash Reed in these statements, because if we get to be ourselves, when we get to be ourselves, we hold nothing back. And so that means we get to decorate our cubes and put pictures up of our loved ones. We honor our cultural and religious traditions, that we simply celebrate ourselves and our colleagues as people who work under one roof in one company that shares one mission and vision. Look, this may seem a little ideal. And some of you may be thinking, well, that's really nice, John, but it's not the way it happens out there. I get it, because I lived it for a big part of my career. But with everything that's going on in our world right now, if we truly are going to embrace our diversity and our inclusion, then it simply begins and continues with us showing up competently, confidently, professionally, and energetically as ourselves. Nothing more and nothing less. So however you celebrate Halloween, I hope it's a safe and enjoyable one for you. If you liked today's video, please press the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you found this message particularly meaningful for someone you know, I hope you will share it with them. I look forward to seeing you really soon. I'll be here again with you next week. And until then, here is to all of us just simply being ourselves, just showing up and playing full out. I wish you all the best, and I appreciate you. Thank you.